All right, so for this last project for our CUA on typography, some of you will be starting with a photograph. So if that's the case, this happens to be a portrait. Some of you may have like a scenic photograph that you're going to be utilizing or a picture that you have taken, but I want to show you really quick. First of all, you're going to open up that image in Photoshop, and the very first thing I want you to do is make sure that it's a pure black and white. We're going to go to Image Adjustments, and then we're going to go to Hue and Saturation. Or you can do the shortcut Control U. When you're doing the project, if you could start watching this video and pause it while you're working, that's going to be really, really helpful. And then pick it back up for the next step, especially for those of you who are not familiar with Photoshop. So when we go into Hue and Saturation, I want you to make sure to pull the saturation slider all the way down. Even if it's a black and white photograph, it may still have little remnants of color. When I tested it, I actually had little remnants of blue in my image. So I definitely want you guys to think about, pull that saturation all the way down. That will make it a black and white image. I want you to make it a black and white image to start with, okay? Whether or not you add color later is up to you, but to do some of these techniques, let me show you if it's still in my history. Nope, it's not. I would say it's really important, all right? So there's a few ways of doing it. So if you go into Image Adjustments, you're going to find two options in here. So one is Posterize and the other is Threshold. So when I go to Posterize, we're going to go ahead and tell it we're going to have X number of levels, okay? I might go ahead with 2, so it's a pure black and white. So in that case, what I have, let me zoom in a little bit. What I have are some starting areas that, as I look at, it's kind of telling me what's really important, okay? I can increase that. I can go ahead to 3. You're going to see a secondary level. What could that be for you? Maybe the black text the black areas you're actually going to put with black text. The gray areas maybe you're going to support with gray text, okay? So you have those as options. I canceled out on that one. Actually, let me make sure. Yep, we're good. All right, I want to go ahead and this one was Posterize, okay? I'm going to go ahead and do that again. Image Adjustments, Posterize, and I'm going to go ahead with, I'm just going to put 2 levels in there, okay? So that's that one. I made another layer. What I did was I pressed Control J when I was here just to copy it so I can try different things. So that's one. Here's my next copy, the eyeball. You should be relatively familiar with the eyeball turning things on and off. So that turns on that next layer. This one, I'm going to do Threshold. Okay? So Image Adjustments and Threshold. This one will be a pure black and white. So you're going to find that it's only going to give you black and white. But when you move the slider, you could change the degree. So if you're trying to look for how am I going to deal with those teeth, maybe this is a great area for the teeth to help you trace it, but this would be a great area for the rest of the face, for example. So that's an example of Threshold. I'm going to go ahead to the background. I'm going to press Control J. You can see I made a copy. I'm going to drag that copy to the top, so that's what I see. I'm going to show you one more area that you can work into, and those are using filters. We want to go to the defaults. You're going to click on the black and white. Again, a lot of this should look a little bit familiar just because of your exposure to Adobe products. So if we go into Filter, there's this area in here called Sketch. And the very first one I want you to try out is Stamp. But do not forget, you do have to make sure that you have it on the default of black and white in the background. So I'm going to go ahead and click Stamp. The cool part about this is you click one, and all you have to do, let me go ahead and move that a little bit back. All you have to do is kind of move through some of them. You can also come in here and change their balance. Like this one is not quite so sketchy on the edges. You might think that that one works really well. I might come over here to photocopy to help me find some of those heavier edges. Maybe torn edges will help me find some of that. Again, you want to make sure that you are trying these different effects as well as using their tools to adjust them to find something that will work a little bit better for it. There is an artistic, and I don't know for sure, the cutout filter might work as a black and white, but you would have to really make sure to adjust it. Like here, that one actually with 3 levels looks really good, but with 2 levels, we lose his eye. So working with all of these different portions to make sure that you're doing a good job, kind of getting things selected and trying some different things to help your original photograph come to life. And that's it.